Throughout my entire life, I've come across two different types or groups of people that have opinions on cannabis. One group, which is usually people my age or my friends or influencers that I used to watch when I was a kid, they typically always say the substance is not like nicotine, it's not like heroin, it's not like anything like that, it's not addictive, dude, don't worry about it. And then on the other hand, I had my parents that were telling me you should not be doing this stuff because the more you do it, there's a very high chance you will get addicted to it. And obviously, as the naive 16-year-old kid that I was, I obviously did not want to listen to my parents. I thought everything that they said was a lie and they were fear-mongering me. So let's talk about whether or not cannabis will actually get you hooked, addicted, or how is that whole process? Well, don't I have an extremely personal story for you. The first time I smoked, extremely personal story, 13 or 14 years old. This was back in the Middle East when I used to live in Iran. I smoked some boof ass shit. Obviously in the Middle East, like that shit's completely illegal. So what you're getting is like very shady. You don't really know where it's coming from. And honestly, I had one of the worst experiences of my life. Obviously, as a 14-year-old, you're very stressed out when you do this stuff for the first time. So we decided to go to a mall and I just hear like security guards' radios going off and I'm thinking like, yo, are they like talking about us? Anyways, after that incident, I did not smoke at all until I was like about 16 or 17 years old. Towards the end of 11th grade was when I actually started gaining a little bit of independence. I was chiefing a little bit here and there with my friends after school, once every 2 weeks type of thing. We obviously weren't avid smokers. Throughout the summer of 11th grade going into 12th grade, I became a lot more comfortable with cannabis. I was just kind of smoking almost every single night after work. And I really want you to pay attention to this pattern because it doesn't happen overnight. You don't just get addicted to ZA overnight. So I get more comfortable with it. I'm kind of smoking every single night, but I'm way too scared to smoke throughout the day. I don't want to be faded at work or anything like that. That process continues for about 3 months where I'm smoking every single night, and then high school rolls around, 12th grade. Welcome to the last year of high school. Spoiler alert, I did not want to go through another school year, so I decided to take the fast track method. This was when I had initially started my sales and home exterior cleaning company, so the only thing throughout the day that I was looking forward to was that after school activity of getting out of school and going and knocking on doors. I did not give a shit about what happened in any of my classes. I cheated on almost all my tests, all my quizzes. I used ChatGPT for fucking everything. I would pay kids to do my homework. I would fucking beg them to do my homework. So I didn't really care, and initially it didn't start off super bad. I was only like smoking, okay, let's smoke for the last period of class. So you're doing that for a month, then you start finding people in your classes that also smoke. Now you guys are taking a smoke break in the bathroom at 12 o'clock in the afternoon during your lunch break. Another 2 months passes and you become so comfortable with being high in class that you just smoke at 7:45 in the morning before going into school. And that is unfortunately exactly what happened for, I would say, 6 months out of my senior year. Every single fucking morning, I would wake up, go outside, hop in my friend's car at 7:45 in the morning, and I would chief his dab cart. We would take that shit in school, and obviously, given that my tolerance was so high at the point, we would smoke every period or every 2 periods, every class that would get ended, we would just go out and smoke. For an entire 6 months, I was smoking first thing in the morning, and I would stop at 3 p.m. because I had to go do my sales job. And I was still at this point on top of it. There was no problem with the way I was speaking. When I was sober, I was actually very on the ball. I could think very clearly, I would speak very clearly, I would very easily debate and argue with people. This whole thing that I had learned on social media that if you smoke too much, your brain starts like literally dying, just did not make any sense to me because that wasn't happening. I finished 12th grade, moved to Canada on my own. I'm an independent person, no parents, no nothing, no stress. So the habits continually start getting worse. 3 months passes by and I start my social media journey where I have to pick up the phone and start speaking and coming up with ideas. What content do people want to see? How do I word this as good as possible? How can I speak as clearly as possible? Using your brain is a big part of creative work. So this was when I started realizing that I might be cooked. First month of doing content, I'm like, okay, this is hella easy. I'm still smoking constantly. I have horrible habits, but I'm still like recording videos and posting them. Weeks and months start passing by and I slowly, very slowly realized that I can't think of a proper thought. Like, I can't productively think. I can't think of something useful. And it was crazy to me because it wasn't like one day I woke up and I was like, I'm cooked. This happened over a very long period of time of having bad habits. Before I knew it, I was not addicted to the weed and the cannabis, the THC substance itself. I was addicted to the feeling of being high. With social media specifically, you constantly have people looking into your life and giving their 2 cents, either hating on you or supporting you, whatever. And the first couple months, it was very stressful. school. I didn't know how to deal with hate comments. I didn't know how to deal with hate in general. So when I would start overthinking in the afternoon, I would immediately roll up and smoke. It was like the easiest getaway and the easiest way to just put my problems behind my back and just move forward. This is a mistake that a lot of weed smokers don't even realize that they're making. Your problems don't actually go away when you smoke. They actually get significantly worse because now they're transferred to the next day. You still have to do the work. I know you want to smoke and forget about it and like completely get it out of your head. You still have to do the work. And when I made this realization, I started doing a little bit more self-reflection, and I actually put myself in my own shoes 5 years in advance. I looked at my life and the current trajectory that it's moving, and I really thought to myself, if I really go the rest of my life just smoking every single day as soon as the clock turns to 12 p.m., I'm fucking cooked. Like, my brain will be complete mush in the next 2 years. I won't be able to speak. Obviously, I had very limited social interactions. I would talk in front of the camera, but I didn't really have friends. I still don't really have friends that really add on to my social life. But I knew this path that I'm going down is absolutely horrible. Now, if you've related to anything that I said throughout this video, first of all, I'm glad that you're here watching this. And second of all, I'm going to give you some solutions that help me reduce the intake of ZA and do it in a little bit more of a healthy way, even though there is absolutely nothing healthy about cannabis. Unless you have like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, like, yeah, it's been shown to be helpful medically, but you don't have any of that. So stop trying to cope and convince yourself that it's a good substance. First thing you need to do, if you were similar to me and you smoked a lot of dab carts, is to completely stop buying these pens. Don't buy wax pens anymore. Just like how vapes are a convenient version of cigarettes and actually get you way more hooked way faster, dab carts are a very similar product. You can just kind of smoke it literally anywhere. So that's first step. Stop buying dab carts. Not only are they the lowest quality of ZA that you can smoke, studies also show that they genuinely mutate your DNA. Your kid might pop out in 20 years brain dead because you decided to smoke some cart nights for 3 years straight. Now, another issue is the frequency of how often do you smoke throughout the day. If you have this problem that you wake up and you're awake for like 2 hours, but then you're like, okay, I'm bored, I need to tap this shit, you need a change of scenery. You need to get out of your house immediately. As soon as you get that feeling, get out of your house, go somewhere else, and get your mind busy with something. You literally have a supercomputer on your phone called ChatGPT that you can just start 10 different businesses just by talking to it for 20 minutes. Don't ever make the excuse of, oh, I have nothing to do. I know it's more boring than just smoking ZA, but if you're actually dedicated in reducing the intake, this is arguably the best way. Let's say you're good, but then rolls around 6 p.m. and you're done with all your work. You just want to kick back, relax, watch some TV, play some video games. This stage is exactly where most people get caught. They are consistently going in this cycle of, okay, I get home from work, I smoke, sit in front of the TV, and rot. Honestly, as much as I would like to say there's nothing wrong with that, unwind, bro, relax, I genuinely cannot support this just simply because I have seen personally firsthand what it's done to my brain. Smoking weed every day is a problem. It is not a therapeutic thing. It does absolutely nothing for you other than stop you from overthinking and stray you further away from the tasks that you actually have to complete throughout that day. Another thing that helped me out a lot, I actually have this on my audiobook, Apple Books, all this shit. I know books, I know it's very scary. I don't read too much either, but this is genuinely one of the most valuable books that I've ever read in my life when it comes to cannabis. It is called Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Cannabis. I have the audiobook here. Again, I didn't really read the books. I just kind of went to the gym, hopped on the treadmill, put my headphones in, and just listened to what he said because it's actually very entertaining and relatable as someone that smokes a lot. You genuinely feel like the book is actually speaking directly to you, depending on how far down this rabbit hole you are. It was extremely relatable to me, and it really changed my mindset about how I think about weed as this good therapeutic substance it's not that bad. I can smoke it sometimes. It's a very entertaining book. I'm not the type to recommend books, but this is really something you should not skip over if you believe that you're addicted to this substance. I know, I wish I had a one-word answer that could fix your addiction to this substance. And when people ask, oh, what addictions, what withdrawals are you talking about? I've done this a couple times. The withdrawals actually aren't that bad. It takes about a week for you to bounce back to your normal self, but you go through this week-long period of being absolutely bored out of your mind, not being hungry at all. And for me specifically, I was just constantly feeling nauseous when I wasn't smoking. I wish there was a way to quit without going through the hardships of going through withdrawals, but it really is part of the process. It makes you a stronger person. It gives you discipline. It gives you power over your mind. The last piece of advice I can give to you here is stop lying to yourself. Your subconscious, that little voice in your brain, always knows exactly what you need to be doing. You'd see a lot of benefit if you actually listen to that voice.